In this video, we'll discuss the safety precautions and operations of how to use our SawStop table saw. First off, we're going to start off with using our safety glasses, making sure that our safety glasses are on properly, not sitting on top of our head. We do not have long sleeves on bracelets, necklaces, or long hair. If you have long hair, it should be pulled up into a ponytail. The sleeves should be rolled up. Bracelets and necklaces should be removed. Also, if you have baggy clothes, you would want to pull those back, or you would want to remove it and put on a different piece of clothing. Because of safety precautions, when you lean over, you don't want that baggy clothing to get caught here and then pull you into the saw. A couple things about the saw. This is your master on-off switch. So you notice that it is on right now, which the green light is on. That green light shows that the master switch has power going to the actual saw. You would push this out, which is a second switch for safety, to actually start the blade. It is made to, when you get through cutting, to turn it off with your knee as a safety precaution. A couple other things right here. You have your two dials, one here on the front and one on the side. Those dials turn the blade back and forth. So this one here adjusts the height of the blade, so we can let the blade up and down based on the thickness of the wood. Along with your side one, as you turn it and you watch the blade on top, the actual blade turns at an angle. So that would be kind of like your miter saw turning at an angle as well. And the way you would check to see what angle the blade is at is right here on the front. It goes from 0 to 45 degrees. Talking about the height of the actual blade, it should not be any more than 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch above the piece of wood that you are cutting. You should also never remove this guard. It is in place. The guard that is in place on the back right here, it has kickback guards. So what that does on both sides, it catches your piece that you're keeping and your piece that you're throwing away. So because the wood splits in the back, it catches the wood, and that way, in case there's a kickback, it doesn't allow it to come back and throw it onto you, the operator. So it does have a couple safety items in there, along with keeping any debris from coming up into your eyes or on your skin. The last thing we're going to look at before actually cutting the piece of wood, you can adjust this fence. So just like the actual miter saw had fence, this table saw has fence as well. You'd keep your wood upside of the fence as you cut, making sure that it is square. That would keep it square with the saw blade, so that you make sure that you're cutting it accurately. Right here, if you're using this side of the saw, then you would go with this marker, versus if you would need to take this off to use it on the opposite side, you would go with the opposite side marker. So it is made to operate both sides of the table saw. So putting it back, I'm going to set it to be at 6 inches. So if you look right here, you can see the red line. It's on 6 1/4. I'm going to scoot it over, and right there you can bump it, and it's on 6 inches. Once you get it where you want it, you would lock it down to where the fence does not move. All right, now I'm going to grab my piece of wood, along with, we have our homemade push stick. I think there's another one right here. We have another push stick. So what this does is this allows you to stand here with your hand, and you would push through. That allows your hand not to get close to that blade. One thing about this SawStop machine is it is designed to not cut your hand. Because of the many accidents that have happened with table saws, SawStop invented this, where if your hand comes in contact with the blade drops. Now, it does damage that blade, and we have to replace it, but it does save you from losing, a limb or finger. So we've got it set on 6 inches. I have my push stick ready. I'm going to turn the table saw on. And again, making sure that it's pushed outside of the fence. I'm going to begin pushing. Trying to put my push stick closer to the blade or closer to the center of your wood usually makes it stay in a straight line and stays outside the fence. Now, with your hand, do not push that piece of wood. You can go ahead and take this piece of wood that you're keeping and push it off the back onto the floor. And then you can cut the actual saw off. When you walk around back to get your piece of wood, the blade is stopped, and now you can remove that piece. That does cover the safety precautions and usage of our SawStop. If you have any other questions about this actual machine, don't hesitate to ask.